Hello, alrighty. Figured since I got this camera, I'm gonna start kind of logging my inventions. So this first one, this is the first thing I'm gonna post. I got my motor that I'm making. So I want a trolling motor on my kayak, but I didn't want just like a basic motor, right? I wanted one with all the cool features, the spot lock, autopilot, cruise control. I wanted everything. And those in my budget didn't quite exist. So my goal for this project is $300, spot lock trolling motor ready to go, and it can be printed on any 3D printer, standard size. Coming together. Super cool. And then you can pull here, Jake, pull. Demonstrate. Okay, well that was a lot of pulling. All right, let go. Stowed. We are officially spinning, baby. Alrighty. I've double and quintuple checked this. So now it's time for the moment of truth. No smoke. Okay, that's something. I don't see smoke. Nothing's getting hot. Okay, I think we're good. So if you look, here it is. Pull these to deploy, but this system's kind of shit right now. So, lock it in. We have the main motor, little gear system, and then the electronics. I'm pretty excited about this. It should be really cool when it's all said and done. We got a MOSFET to control the big boy motor. It's a giant motor driver. I don't actually know. I think it's more of an H-bridge. We have an IMU for heading. I have a GPS sensor over there. It still needs some love, and then all of this is getting controlled by an ESP32 with a little antenna so that I can make a remote for it. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. Right now, the motor spins and this spins, but I forgot that MOSFETs can only do clockwise, so my little gear system here, unfortunately, is only capable of moving this clockwise. But I got a new H-bridge coming tomorrow, and hopefully it works as planned. I'm thinking of making this open source. We'll see if enough people are interested, but yeah, pretty neat. Hopefully it works. All right, we're back, and we got the testing rig going amazing. I'll show you. So, we currently have a working steering system, and I'm working on the heading and spot lock sensors. So you can see I've got my left and my right. I am controlling it with this keypad right now. Wireless, by the way. Got speed control. I can control the speed with this button, so it just goes from 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then off. I'll fix that later when I get a screen. And then I do have a somewhat functional heading lock, so here, I'll turn it on and show you. It works, but it needs a little bit more tuning to get it perfect. Alrighty, new upgrade. First, we got a beautiful head on the motor now, so that's going to be looking good here in a minute. Then we also have a remote with cool little multicolor print. I forgot an on switch, so that will be next, but this is good for testing. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm pretty hyped. Should be cool. Very cool. Alright, really wide angle lens on this, but basically I'm not walking. And you can see, right, that That piece of tape that's standing in for the prop isn't moving. I'm gonna start walking and you're gonna see it's gonna try to push me back. And I'm gonna walk back to the spot. All right, but what if I go the other way? What if I start walking backwards? Now, pushing me back. And people say that coding's hard. Okay, so now that we know that the spot lock and everything's working, I made a little test rig in my living room. Just testing to see if it spins good and stuff. Pretty dope though. Alright, I'm in my driveway. This is my favorite part, mounting. So, we got it here. We're using this little mounting plate, and I have these little rubber grommets, so check it out. I drilled the first hole, and then I drilled some pilot holes for the others. But all they are just little rubber expansion nuts, so I don't need a nut from the inside. You just drill a big hole, pop these in, and then when you attach a screw, they'll like compress. So I'm gonna add 4 more of these, and hopefully that's enough to hold the motor on tight. All right, we got her mounted. Take the motor, got her plugged in, pop it in there, slide it on, and pin her up, and that's it. She is secured. Alright, so apart from the fact that forward is backwards and the motor doesn't have a whole lot of torque, like the steering motor, because it likes to do shit like that, I'm pretty happy with it. Like if I put it in heading mode, or wait, sorry, I gotta go in reverse. I send it. I mean, that's pretty good. Then to pull it up, you just pull these back and bam, done. All right, we out here trolling. It is working phenomenally. I had to do some PID tuning, but after I did that, it works, I mean, phenomenally. Like, this is going great. The only issue right now is that, oh hey, hooked up. Even more tuning later, but I'm pretty happy with it. Like, it's doing good, honestly. Like, I'm creeping in here. I don't know, I'm happy with it. This is great. I think the steering motor needs like a little more torque. I'm gonna get one that, because you can see, like, it's pretty quick. It doesn't need to be that quick. Oh shoot, I am way too shallow. Look at that bottom. Let's see how quick I can rip through here. Woo! We got head and lock doing its thing, keeping us on that GPS course. Doing a little bit of trolling. Hopefully we can get one here. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. Alrighty, so round 1 of the motor test was a great success. I know all the circuitry works great. There's a few bugs with the code that definitely need to get worked out, but I think the next course of action is going to be to turn this proto board into a circuit board. So the goal here is that I can sell a circuit board to you guys, and then you guys can plug everything in by hand. There's no soldering required. It's going to cut down on the time, but also the experience level needed. And again, the goal is, again, to keep this under $300. So yeah, going to make that awesome circuit board next. Alright, so started out with a little diagram for awesome circuitry. Then we moved on to our little layout. Got her all set up, and now you can see we got our beautiful board. I added an LED light just because. Yeah, this will be connected with a bunch of connectors, so you can just plug in your components, and it should be good to go. Alright, so I have a new housing going here. A little bit of an upgrade from the old one. You might notice it's a tiny bit shorter. So now you can print it on most 3D printers instead of my oversized one that I use for my projects. But the biggest issue right now is the pinion gear that controls the steering. After about 2-3 hours of use, the backlash from it like getting sloshed side to side strips the nuts or the heated inserts that I've been using. So I'm going to be experimenting and doing some testing today to see what mount works the best, because I really don't want to get stranded again with this thing. Alright, got some new code going. This isn't anything crazy, but the whole point is I'm going to run this back and forth for about 3 hours. And hopefully that gear stays attached this time and doesn't fall off or loosen. Alright, we had another failure. First, these tore out on the last session, you can see. Even with double reinforcement, it wasn't good enough. And then I dropped the head on pavement, so I'm going to reinforce that or maybe make it a little less long. Haven't decided yet. But check it out, check it out. New board. It's about half the size. And now the goal is I can sell these for pretty dang cheap. And you can plug in every single component and you don't have to solder a dang thing. There it is. All plug and play, so you don't need to do any soldering now. Very cool. It's been about a month, but I've got an exciting update. We have just received in the mail the new board version for the Open Anchor, as well as a circuit board for the remote. So you'll notice that this is significantly smaller than my prototype version. You can see the whole thing. Here, I'll get us turned around. You can see here the whole thing. One sec, let me get you on it. The whole remote is going to be smaller than just the buttons on this. And it's going to have 8 buttons instead of 6. So a ton of added functionality and a row of LED lights. Hopefully. There's no guarantee that this will work on the first try, but I'm hopeful. Alright, there we go. Next we gotta get this remote up and running, but it looks great. Look at that! It's perfect! Alright, finals week, but you know we got a new remote going here. So you got 10 speed modes for your up and down. You got your left and your right. You've got heading mode. You got anchor mode. which doesn't work very well inside, but it does do it. Then I have autopilot on this button, so this will record a track. And on this button, it's full throttle or kill throttle. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Here, let's try anchor mode. Alright, it's gonna try to put us on position now. Ah! Alright, it's gonna try to put us on position now. Ah! Alright. Finally, for the first time, everything is actually working. I have that thing securely mounted this time, but I've been trolling for probably an hour now, and you know, knock on wood, but no real issues yet. That's not true. The accelerometer fried when it fell in the lake, so I need to get a new one of those. So right now, heading lock isn't working and anchor mode is not working great. But the motor's working fine. Pretty hyped. Second walleye of the day. I think I found where they're hanging out. I popped right off too. Baby pike. Bye, pike. Alright, today we're out here testing app control. You can see I made this beautiful little app. Well, kind of. It's not actually an app. So what it is, this controller can host a website on its own Wi-Fi network. So you connect to its Wi-Fi and it takes you right to the screen. What that means is, let's say you drop your remote and you're out of service, you can just use this app and you don't even need to download it or anything ahead of time. It's just ready to go, and you can see it seems to be pretty good. It definitely has some issues that need to get worked out. High-speed steering is kind of horrible, but we're gonna see if autopilot works now. It'll also tell you your speed, your heading, how many satellites you are connected to. Okay, we're gonna see how it does. I finally got the spot lock completely dialed in. I think I'm ready to release this project, because I've been jigging for Lakers for probably 15 minutes now, and I haven't moved off my spot. Look at it. A little bit of a headwind, and it's doing great. All right, you can see anchors on board, motors spot locked, and I am going 0 miles an hour. That is pretty dang incredible.